All right, so we're recording. I'm muting. Alrighty. So the Back from Pit series, we're gonna call it. It's gonna be like a 2-part series. So this is just gonna be us going over a broad, like the broad idea of what we learned. You're gonna get homework. You're gonna get homework tonight. I'm just gonna have you guys email me. Not email me. Message me your emails. Just do it on Facebook, or we text and just send me a text. And then I'm gonna send out, if you guys do it right away, you guys can do it now on your phone, just so you don't forget. And then I'll mail everyone the homework. I'm not going to post it in the group, only because if you're not on the call, it's not going to make sense if you weren't explained it, I guess. So if anybody on your team wants to do it, you can feel free to send them, obviously, the email, but please explain the process to them. And then they can jump on the second part next week. So I hope that makes sense. It's just easier that way, because I had to make the PowerPoint of the PowerPoint. So, I mean, it's not super pretty, but it's workable. We work with what we've got. And then I qualified for the Saturday breakfast with Leslie. There was 38 of us, and there was so many amazing things that she taught us. It's mostly on demoing. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's mostly on exactly how she demos. So she set up a table and used some of the girls as examples and stuff, and about wowing, how she wows, which is probably the simplest way of wowing that I've ever heard. So I'm going to do a live on that. If I can get Blake to nap one day this week, then it will be that, but we haven't napped yet. So whatever day I can get her to nap, I'll put a thing that I'm going live, but then I can just tag everyone in it. So, I mean, I go to all events. I love events. I think, what's the word? I was it was embedded in my head that successful people go to events in my last company. So to me, events really aren't an option unless there's a family obligation. Just to me, that's me personally, that's not for everybody, but to me, they're not an option. So a seminar was my first event in the company, I think. Well, Pit, but I had started the month before and I wasn't doing it for the business yet. Seminar, we streamed at my house. We did a potluck, which I wish they still had that option for girls that couldn't make it, because that was so much fun. I know that Anne had a little thing up where she was for those girls, and it was such a team bonding, fun experience. And that's really what we get when we're there. You not only get the information, but you get the sister love. And I don't get to see Anne and Brittany or Aunt Mary a lot, so I really when I saw Nicole at a seminar, that was it's so much fun being with the people that you're communicating with on the internet all the time. So I'm not going to Leaders because the following week we're going to Disney, and I need all the mental preparedness that I can get with flying. I hate flying, so it's it makes my stomach a mess. So just doing it with 3 kids is I'm already taking my medicine for them now. So Marissa said that she's going to Leaders and she wasn't going to Pit, so we flopped. So she's going to bring back all the goodies from there. I am going to January Pit, so if anyone's planning on doing their MUA, we can sure there's only going to be a few of us this year, so we can definitely share a room if you want to message me for that. But the marketing pits, I feel, are always, that's where you get the most information. And this time I had to like take a break on a Monday because my head was like spinning from everything we learned. And you want to do it all right away, but there was so much like pre-work to do for this that I had to take like a brain day and let it all soak in. So I was working on it a lot today. It was all about branding yourself and your business, and then taking it from there and looking at what you want like your market to be, or like your customer base. So you can really do this exercise and figure out what you want to make your business into, like a lifestyle, instead of it just being like Senegence. It just, Grace's screen, it looks like a boob. Sorry, I just saw it. And it made me laugh. Sorry. I'm just dying. Off topic. So I just rebranded. My first name was horrible. It was like Lips and Tricks XO. Like, that's how you know that it's not good. And I made it here, so I mean, it had to be okay. But it took me forever to figure out what I wanted to change it to. But I was like, I just wanted to change it right away. I still love what I made, but this is just kind of tweaking it one step further to like being final. So like I said, there's going to be homework. So what we did was they sent us a interview packet. So you interview 2 to 3 people as the people that know you the best, and they answer questions. You have to call them or be with them in person. I was horrifically awkward the entire time. I hate talking about myself, never mind me asking people these like awkward questions. And then you having to write them down while they're saying them. It's really bad. But you learn about a lot about yourself, and then you learn, I mean, these people love you because they're the closest to you, but hearing how they think of you is probably like the best part for me. So then you'll take all that information and you'll break it down into like your personality, and then you'll build from that your brand essence. So you'll see it in the PowerPoint. I know that Anne and Brittany have theirs done. I don't know if Aunt Mary has hers done. I'm still tweaking my words. I have like half of it done. So they've already published theirs. So they're like on fire. When I have too many options in anything, even like ice cream, like I get flustered. So I only want to do this one time, and my OCD is making it want to be perfect. So I just have one more word that I'm trying to tweak. I even went to Brittany because she like threw hers up and it was like magic. And I was like, this biz. So she'll go over hers. Anne is so her. I was so happy when I saw it. I didn't see it on Facebook, but she sent a screenshot to our group and I loved it. So I like that they like were like super quick, and they're both perfect for the person. So I hope people think that mine clicked right away. See, now I'm overthinking. If I didn't see your guys's, then I would have already had mine done. But now I'm like, theirs are really good, so I need to make sure it's good. So I'm gonna have them go over theirs. Hopefully that will help you guys like get it. And they're gonna go over their biggest takeaway from Pitt. And tell you, Brittany and Anne are going to tell you their thing. as well. If, Aunt Mary, if you have yours done, then you can share it. If not, then we'll wait until next week. So next week we'll all have ours done. All right, who wants to go first? Anne's going first.
Thank you for volunteering me.
Brittany said no.
Oh, I can't see Brittany. I'm on my phone. I can only see 4 of you right now.
Oh.
Thanks, Brittany. Okay, so my biggest takeaway from Pitt was definitely the branding. I've been with Senegent since November of 2016, and Christina knows this is something I've struggled with since the beginning. My first business name was Lip Love with Anne Marie XO. So, and then I changed it to Hello Gorgeous Cosmetics with Anne Marie, which I really loved, but not 100%, because I still would listen to people talk about branding, and I'd watch videos on branding, and I just didn't understand how to get to the essence of who you are. So that part of Pitt was definitely the biggest takeaway. So Brittany and I actually started working on our branding that night in our hotel room in our bed. We worked on it on the plane. I worked on it all day yesterday and then finished it up today. So it's definitely something that takes time. And the interview, I'm assuming that's, Christina, what you're going to have them do for homework. Maybe I'm off base here, but the interview we had to do with people, I did it with 2 people. I did it with my daughter, who knows me better than I know myself. And I did it with Carrie, who's on my team and one of my best friends. And then I had sent it to my best customer, but for some reason she never did it. So whatever, it's fine. But Christina's right. The best part of that whole interview process was learning what people think about you, because they pick up on things about yourself that you don't pick up on. So anyway, what I ended up with, and if Christina wants me to post the screenshots in the group, I will. I actually went onto Canva, which I was always afraid of, and I looked up YouTube videos on how to do Canva, and I came up with a background that my daughter then tweaked for me. And the words that kept coming up over and over again that people kept saying about me. And when we went to, when I did one of the Road to Maidens, we had a very similar homework. So I had a lot of words from people in the past and then people recently. Things like bubbly, positive, bold. That was Brittany's word for me.
Bold all the way.
My daughter had said that basically I'm me, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about me, I'm true to myself. So that really, really resonated with me. So what I came up for a group name is Unapologetically You. That's a big, long word, but I thought about it long and hard because my demographic is a little bit different than you ladies. I just turned 47, so my demographic are middle-aged women, women whose families are established. Our firstborns are starting to go to college, and we know who we are. We're not, I don't mean to offend any 20-year-olds, but you know, when you're 19, 20, 21, 22, you're trying to figure out who you are. When you're 47, you know who you are, and you don't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks about you. So that is where Unapologetically You came from. Because I wanted a name that was going to, because it's more than a business now, a VIP group. It's going to be a lifestyle group. And what I want to bring to my customers are things that are relevant to our age group. So, and Christina will talk about, you heard her say tweaking the words. Well, there are 3 words that you choose to describe who you are. And I'm sure Christina will talk about right-clicking and all of that.
You can do it.
Okay, so when someone says, for example, happy, they use the word happy to describe you. When you're on your computer, you right-click that word and you look up synonyms, and then you look up thesaurus, and it'll give you a whole nother list of words that mean happy. So when you think you have a word that describes you, right-click it, and you might come up with a better one. So on my cover photo, it now says, I couldn't do just 3 words. I wanted to do little phrases. So it's Unapologetically You. It says, be bold, be positive, be you. And that is now my brand. Just no nonsense. Here it is. You know, women who need anti-aging skincare, and our kids are leaving us. And that's basically it.
Can I add something into that, Anne?
Yeah.
So when Anne's talking about the right clicking, it's a huge joke between all of us now. You want to right click because what we learned with the branding is we're all selling the same thing. We're all selling the same products, but someone wants to look at Anne and think of Anne differently than looking at me and thinking we're the same people. So you want to right click to find a word that's going to stand out to your customer. They don't want to, just look at your motto or something and be like, oh, she's just another San Andreas girl. Does that make sense? So that's really why the lady, her name was Meryl, told us to right click. Because you really want to stand out from everybody else. You want to be your own you. You don't want to be just known as another distributor.
You want, when people are looking at your cover photo or they're in your group, you want them to feel who you are from the inside out. So when you do this homework, you're really going to dive deep and you're going to figure out who you are. And it took me a long time to figure out branding, but I think I finally got it. So that's all I wanted to say. Your turn, Brittany.
And I only said no before because I was trying to find my notebook.
Oh, I didn't even know I was going to explain my branding. I thought I was just going to say my takeaway. So I've got nothing in front of me. So
did you say your takeaway? I'll say my takeaway.
My takeaway was the branding.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's my takeaway. Another takeaway I will say in my first lines chat, we all know who Tamara is. If we don't know who Tamara is, we're not watching training videos, but that's besides the point. So we saw Tamara. And so a takeaway for me is we all, watch these videos and we're like, oh, that person's so much better than us and blah, blah, blah. We fill our heads with all this nonsense. But really, someone like Tamara is just someone like us. We are all the same. So what's the word I'm looking for? Can you help me out with this, Christina?
Right click it.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. It's just we're all the same. Even though she looks amazing in her videos, we are all real people. We're all doing the same thing. We're all just in this to win it. So just next time when you are watching someone and you're thinking something in your head, just get that out of your head because we are all the same people.
Yeah, that's another awesome thing about going there. Because you think that even my first event, I was fangirling. It was actually embarrassing, the amount of fangirling that I was doing. Thoroughly embarrassing. I'll even post the picture of me next to Katie Enos with this ridiculous smile on my face. I'm sure Anne still has it for
I do. If you can't find it, I can post it for you.
But now we go and we hang out with Tamara. We hang out with Sadie. It's no big deal. And they're just we're just busting balls. You realize that everyone is equal no matter what level you're at.
Yeah. So I think that's a huge takeaway. And I think even something, I don't want to say it's a little, but even something like that is so worth going to an event for, just to experience that. Even if you don't learn anything, just experience that and you will be a totally changed person. Okay, I'll go on to, so that's my takeaway, minus branding. So as Anne was talking about, Christina, stop laughing. So we did the interviews. I didn't call people. I will be honest. I hate talking to people. And we got the homework sort of late, so I messaged people the questions.
I did too.
So, yeah, so kudos to you for calling people because I did not. So I broke my 3 words down to, I did driven, spirited, and unstoppable. Anne helped me with this. I categorized all the words I was getting. So for example, I was getting determined, motivated, courageous, dedication, drive, devoted, ambitious, and tenacious. And I felt all those words went together. So I went with driven because I feel like that stands out there and it just pretty much puts that all together. I went with spirited because I was getting bubbly, outgoing, fun, upbeat, bold, friendly, vibrant, animated. So I right-clicked and spirited came up, and I really just liked the way that sounded and stood out. Unstoppable, I did not right-click. I was sitting next to Anne when I read someone's comment. I don't remember what her other 2 words were, but unstoppable just stood out to me, so I just that. So my 3 words are driven, spirited, and Unstoppable. I came up with a
I
different
said resilient.
Yeah, yeah. And I came up with a different business name. Juliana did I do that in October? November. It took me a couple months because my husband, when I first started with this business, came up with Lip Fusion USA. That is the dumbest freaking name I've ever heard in my entire life. But I went with it because he came up with it, and I didn't even want to start the business. So I
was like, who is this couple?
Britt literally asked me that. She's like, who is this girl on your team?
The dumbest name. So I came up with Style Me Up. So I did Style Me Up because I'm all about the lifestyle anyways. So I wanted to do stuff obviously mom related, beauty related, health related, and I just feel the Style Me Up is just pretty much anything going to your life. So that's why I went with that. For my VIP group wise, I really focused on beauty and constantly posting beauty stuff. Occasionally I would post my son, but I have people constantly messaging me health-wise stuff, travel-wise stuff. So I'm just really going to bring that over to my VIP group because it's going to get more people to join. So I'm really taking my group to a whole new level. Yes, I'm still going to do beauty-related stuff, but it's not going to be every post. Even I know selfies, it's not really posting about a product, but you are. So I'm just taking a whole different level. I don't know if Christina's going to talk about this tonight or the next time. So what I also, no, I won't go into that because Christina will. What else do you want me to talk about?
Go.
I'm getting stuck. Oh no, because I was just going to mention what was her name? Lindsay was talking how we really only need to be posting 3 times a week in our groups now. So yeah,
I think that was our business page.
What's that?
I think that was on our business page.
No, and in our VIP groups.
Yeah, I was
really?
confused about that because of the
Yeah, it was
algorithm.
either.
I personally am gonna follow that calendar that Heather Shriver Burns put out.
Yeah, that was a good calendar.
I'm gonna share that too. I'm gonna share that into the group, but I'm just nervous about like the algorithm wise doing it 2 to 3 times a week.
So I mentioned to Anne, looking at the analytics in your group, I have certain days that are so sky high and other days are down low. I also said, this is just me, everybody always they can do what they want. I said I feel people are probably so annoyed with me posting 2 times a day, every single day of the week, they're turning notifications off and not looking at it ever. So I'm going to play with the 3 times a week and see if that helps. If it doesn't, I'll do what I was doing, but I'm just going to play around with that for me personally.
Yeah, I feel the same way. So I've been only doing once a day.
Yeah.
But I've been definitely switching it up to what I'm posting. Like the hair tutorial that I did the other day.
Yeah.
Was super popular. Usually I don't get that many like engagements. Even with the replays, people were engaging, so that was good. So I did like the calendar. It was not all business related.
No, not at all.
So I think I'm gonna.
Another thing I would post for them, if you have it, if you don't, I can send it for you, is Lindsay's Facebook group, because I feel a lot of what she taught us Saturday morning is what is in her Facebook group and her units and that type of thing.
Yeah, I joined it. I haven't been in it yet, looking at it, but that I was going to go over next week once they got the brand down, and then finish that one into that. That way they're not like super overwhelmed.
Yeah. So ideally, to end what I did, really just dig into your 3 words. If you need more than a week to figure it out, take more than a week, because you just want to be different than everybody else. So really just ask people, post it as a Facebook status. Speaking of Facebook status, just because it has to do with this. When you're wording something, your wording can be the huge kicker. Because back when we did the Maiden Challenge, the first one in November, we had to post, what are the 3 words that pop in your head when you think of me? I got so much lip sense, stenogence, yada, yada, yada. Not what I was looking for. So when I posted what are 3 words that would describe me, I got a ton of other opinions, and I didn't get one lip sense one. So really watch how you word things, because that is also going to make a huge difference on your interaction.
One more thing, if I can. You keep hearing us talk about the 3 words, and Christina will go over that. But what I found was more important to me than the 3 words in figuring out my brand was the other questions that you're going to see in this interview. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? When do you see me at my most powerful? Things like that. And those answers really, really is what helped drive my brand. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, mine definitely helped me finding out where other people saw me as weak was super helpful.
Yes.
Just in like reevaluating, because this is gonna make you like go so deep that you're gonna like try to reevaluate your entire life. So it definitely helped me with that. So like the 3 words that describe you, those 3 words, think of it as like it's your personality. So it's not just how you are today, but how you've been your whole life, and how you're gonna, and like those words are gonna describe you throughout like forever. So when you're thinking of them, like caring, loyal, like people are gonna write all these things. So like Brittany said, do the interviews, but then do the Facebook post on what, like you've probably seen ours, and you're probably like, why are those girls doing it? Now you know. But those, seeing how social media people that you maybe haven't seen since high school, or people that you don't talk to every day, like that's how you're portraying yourself through social media.
I just want to make sure. I got to go play pool. You're recording this. I can watch the rest later, right?
Yeah, and just message me your email.
All right, I will. All right.
Bye. I forgot where I was. Facebook post. So that's where I got some of my best words. I feel like that's where I got the words that popped out the best. Is not the right way to describe it. They like stood out the most, and those were the ones that those are my favorite so far. I'm trying to think. There was something I wanted to say, but I don't have a pen, so I couldn't write it down. Mary, go with your takeaway from Pitt, and if you have done yours yet, maybe I'll remember.
I have to say that I agree with the camaraderie and like the just being with everybody, because like there's just something to say about like actually being able to spend time with somebody. It's so funny because going back and forth, like I haven't spent a lot of time on my business page as much, because I've been so focused on my VIP page and my personal page. Like looking back at my business page, like I saw one of the pictures of you in, I don't know what color, Christina, but it was one of the ones that like you can share or whatever. And I was like, who is this person that's like our upline? Like, sure, we can share, we can use her picture. Like, and now to like know you, like like how I know you from having spent time with you at 2 events, it like that picture means so much more to me. Do you know what I mean? So it just is like a random picture that you can share of a stranger that is no longer a stranger. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. As far as my takeaways, I mean, the word that jumped out the most when I started like right clicking and urban dictionarying and stuff is bodacious, because it right, because it encompasses a lot. When I looked it up on the Urban Dictionary, it said primarily used during the 80s and 90s, and like everything about me is like 80s. I love that I love so much about the 80s. But impressive, awesome, brave in action, remarkable, all these words that were similar to the words when I right clicked the words that describe me, because everything that came, included anything from fun, funny, accepting, non-judgmental, leader, knowledge, smart, sweet, eccentric. Like, I just felt like Bodacious captured a lot of that. I really liked the non-judgmental, but I feel like accepting sort of encompasses that. So that and knowledge or knowledgeable. So those were my 3 words, and I'm working on the idea of rebranding. I'm not sure what direction I'm going to go in. I absolutely love yours, Anne. I think it's great, and I loved when Brittany released hers. So no pressure, girls. Thanks. I feel your pain, Christina. But yeah, so those are my 3 words. I don't know exactly where I'm going with it, but I literally was like, I was so anxious on Sunday, like, because there was so much information, and I was like, I'm not even sure where to begin. Like, it was awesome. Like, I have pages of notes, I have a ton of recordings, but like, you just want to like do it all, and you have to like slow down and remember that, I think one of the biggest things that has been said over and over again is that people aren't buying your products. They're buying you. They're not buying your brand. They're buying you. Like, the reason that they gravitate to you, and like Brittany said, like, we're all selling the same thing. So, what draws people to Christina or to Anne or to Brittany should be something different than what draws people to me. So in that, like, just being able to put yourself out there, and sometimes like they said, look at your insights and find out like what is getting the most engagements. If it's like the stupid cat picture, then post more cat pictures. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's the which dress should I wear to my mother's 80th birthday, like, then post more engaging questions that are asking people's opinions or what have you. So it's really about, like, your brand becomes who you are, and so the rest kind of falls into place. And that's, I think, why this work is so deep, because you're really having to be introspective. And even though you're getting input from other people, and like, if you do the work and get interviews from people, and I actually did speak to someone, and it was very awkward, Christina. I was like, thanks, like, okay. Like, I'm like writing all their answers down. It was really weird. But the other 2 people, because of their work schedules, I couldn't speak to them, so they emailed me their answers. But it was all really great information to be listening or hearing about or reading about, because it's like how other people view you in the world. And that's what you want, is for people to be curious about you, and for people to be like, hey, I want to be her friend. I want to follow her, So I think that those were my biggest takeaways, and my 3 words. So I'll be working on the rest.
I love Bodacious. You definitely have to put that in there somewhere. That's so you.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. So I hope that hearing from all of us helped. Erica's at work, so she couldn't hop on. I haven't talked to her much since we got back, because we've both been busy, but I'll see if she has any ideas for hers, and we can have her go over them maybe, or post hers in the team page. But when you guys, I've only gotten, I think, 2 emails so far. So as soon as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'm looking for 10. Carlin, you can share to Rachel since she couldn't be on when you get your email. And I hope if you guys have any questions, reach out to, if you're under, whoever you're under, if they went, reach out to them. If not, reach out to me. And definitely do the interviews as soon as possible. And you can even do the Facebook post tomorrow and get that. Definitely respond to everyone who is commenting, even if it's like, thank you so much, or blah, 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 just so you're keeping your engagement up so that post keeps going. You want to get as many answers as you can. But again, if you have any questions when you go over it, just obviously message us. If I need to do another Zoom at the end of the week, like Friday, if people are stuck, then I'll do that. So I hope that helps. Does anyone have any questions?
Isn't in the calendar yet. I just looked.
Okay.
Do we know when Pitt is in January yet?
No,
No,
I'll,
it's not in the calendar.
Yeah. Is that what you were just saying, Britt? Sorry,
Yeah.
you cut out.
Yeah, no, only seminars in there and pit stop in July. The other one's not in there.
okay.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was the Australia, I think it's the Australia seminar, and that is
Yeah.
like during the week that last year's pit or this year's pit was. So